from my side and let me share the screen. Yeah, I can see my screen, right? Yeah. So what is the answer? Yesterday I asked you one question, right?
Yeah, we can patch it.
So if my SQL server is in stopped state, can I patch the SQL server?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Are you
sir.
sure? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
We
sir.
can
Yes, sir.
patch it.
We can
Great.
patch it, sir.
Great. Yes, the answer is yes. Even though SQL server is in stopped state, okay, you can patch the SQL server. It's not like the server should be up and running. Even though server is stopped also, you can patch the stopped server. Okay, fine. Right. So any challenges, any issues faced, anyone while patching the SQL server?
No,
Right.
sir.
No, sir.
So how we came to know the patching is successful or not?
So by using the bill number and the revision history.
Okay, so if the bill number and revision history is changed, then we can easily identify, or if you run select at version, then also you can see whether it was updated to the latest cumulative update or like the one which you have patched or not. Right, fine. So there are some scenarios, okay? There are some scenarios, the patching will be failed. If patching is failed, where we have to check, okay? So we'll discuss. And sometimes very rarely we'll get compatibility issues, okay? After patching the SQL server, might be, okay? In very less chances, applications may not connect properly or applications may not behave properly, okay? There are very less chances. I'm not saying every time it will do like that, okay? Very less chances are there where applications won't work properly due to the compatibility issues. So in such cases, what we have to do? Can we remove the patch or not? If yes, how can we remove? Okay, so we'll discuss all those things in today's class. Okay, right. So in case whether your application, sorry, whether your installation is failed or okay, or your patching is failed or your upgradation is failed, okay? So in all these scenarios, we can troubleshoot from summary.txt file, okay? We can use summary.txt file, okay, to check whether patching is successful or not, to check whether installation is successful or not, to check whether upgradation is successful or not. So by using this summary.txt file, first thing you can check whether that action is successful or not. Second thing, in case if it is failed, you can also check why it was failed. So summary.txt file is a kind of a log file. Summary.txt file, kind of a log file, which will help you to troubleshoot installation errors, patching errors, upgradation errors. Okay, even the decommission errors also, like if you are trying to remove one SQL server, if the SQL server is not removed, not uninstalled properly, then you can use summary.txt file why SQL server is not uninstalling. For installing, for uninstalling, for patching, for upgradation. For all these four scenarios, a summary file.txt will be generated and you can see, you can check that notepad, and in case if it is failed, you can see why it was failed. Sometimes if you are installing, some of the components will be installed successfully, some of them won't be installed successfully. So you can check which components are successfully installed, which components are not installed properly. Okay, so what is the source for us? Summary.txt file. Okay, just yeah, just a minute. Right. Okay. So what is that file? Summary.txt file. Using that summary.txt file, we can easily identify where is the, not easily, at least we'll get some hints. Where is the issue? At least we'll get some hints. So remember these steps. Okay. So whenever you are facing these issues like installation failed, patching failed, upgradation failed, uninstallation failed, what is your first source to check? Summary.txt file. Okay, this is the first source. Okay, if you don't find anything here, we will have one more file called detail.txt. Okay, detailed.txt file. You can see this is also notepad. Txt means notepad, right? In this notepad, you will see detailed information. Here also, if you can't find anything, you can see in the event viewer. Okay, in the event viewer, we will have application logs. Under this application logs, you can identify where is the issue and all. Okay, so let's see those things and all, where we can find summary file, where we can find detail.txt file, how to open event viewer. Okay, we'll see those things. Okay, let me go to the server. Can anyone tell me where I can find the summary.txt file?
Program files
Log
in
folder, sir.
SQL Server.
See program files, Microsoft
MS
SQL Server,
Server.
instance root directory,
MS SQL.
MS SQL, then
Log folder, sir.
log. Where is that?
No, sir. We have to enter the 130.
Yes. Okay. So let's go to the binaries. Okay. You can find it in the binaries. 140 for
Setup
us
boot.
SQL Server 2017, right? Go to this
Yes, sir.
binaries. There we'll have setup bootstrap folder. Open this setup bootstrap folder. There we'll have log folder. Open this log folder. There you can see summary file. Okay, so this summary file is belongs to last action. What is our last action on the server? What is our last activity on the server? Patching. So yeah, patching. So this summary file belongs to patching. Okay, if you open this one, double click and directly open. Okay, right. So what it is saying, passed. Passed means what? Successful. But reboot required means in the log file itself it is saying whether we have to restart the server or not. Okay, so we have successfully patched the SQL server, but after patching, what it is saying, we have to reboot the server. As I told you, before patching and after patching, it is best practice to reboot the server again. Before patching, just reboot the server once. Why? Because lot of activities, lot of maintenance activities will be done by the Microsoft team, Windows team and all. So sometimes they don't, okay, restart the server. Okay, so if you don't restart the server, one check will be there, restart check. So restart check will be failed during patching. Okay, restart check will be there for installation, restart check will be there for patching itself. Okay, so if you don't restart the machine, I'm not saying it's compulsory, but it's a good way, it's a recommended way, it's a best practice. Before patching, it is always good to reboot the server. Okay, fine, that is one thing. Second thing is, sometimes if you restart the server, it doesn't come online. Okay, if you restart the server, it doesn't come online. So if you don't restart the server before patching, after patching, if you restart the server, what do you think, or what client think?
Patching.
Patching, due to
Process.
patching only, okay, the server is not restarted, or server is not coming to online. The last action is patching only, that's why server is not coming online. You will also think in that way. Client, customer, application owner, business owner also will think in that way only. Why? Because the last action is patching only. After patching only, the server is not coming to online. So that's why this kind of small issues will be there. Okay, so it is always better to reboot the machine before patching itself. If there is a problem with the server, before patching itself, if we reboot, if the server is not coming online, then we can happily, okay, say that there is an issue with the server and all. But after patching, if you reboot, then if the server is not coming online, then they will blame you only. After patching only the server is not coming online, you are the responsible one. Okay, like that they are going to blame us. So make sure, okay, before patching, you always good to restart the server. Okay, once you restart it, then only proceed for patching. Okay, fine, right? We can avoid two main issues if you restart it. One thing is, okay, if any restart checks are there, it will be successfully completed if you restart the machine. Second thing is, in case if there is an issue, lot of issues will be there with the servers, guys. Okay, don't think all servers are new servers, and also some old servers will be there which will create lot of issues. Again, if you are creating an old, if you are patching an old machine, please make sure that you are doing it on weekdays. Old machines will create lot of troubles, they won't come online. Okay, please make sure you are patching it on weekday. Clear, right? So here you can see. Okay, so what is the final result? You can see passed but reboot required. When we did it, so we did yesterday at 13/9/2021 at 8:15. It was successfully start time. We started at 8:15 and it was completed by 8:33. You can see here. What is the action, requested action? You can see that is patching. Okay, patch. You can see pass but reboot required. Okay, so start time, end time, what are the components it was patched successfully. You can see here. Okay, you can see what are the components it was patched successfully. So this is how the summary.txt file will be there. You can see the edition instance also, you can see here. Okay, so if any error is there, you can see the error here in this file. Okay, if any error is there, you can see the error here in this file. So this will be used, the summary.txt file will be used. Okay, next again, if I remove the patch, what will happen? If I remove the patch, what will happen?
Remove summary will be there.
Very good. Yes, very good. This summary file will be moved to a date and timestamp folder like this, and remove patch summary file will be created here. At a time, only one summary file will be there in this folder. Okay. What is the location of the summary.txt file? See program files, Microsoft SQL Server instance binaries. Binaries means 110, 120, 130, 140 instance binaries. Set up bootstrap folder. If the instance belongs to 2017, you can find 140 folder, go inside 140. You can also find different folders like 120, 110 and all, but the final version, what is the build number for this instance 2017 14.0. So you can find 140 folder. Inside that 140 folder, you can see setup bootstrap folder. Inside the bootstrap folder, you can find log folder. Inside the log folder, you can find this summary.txt file. So for example, if you want to see the old files, I want to see the old files. How can I see? You can see there are folders with the date and timestamp, right? One is created at 39 yesterday itself, 8:14. One is created. I have a question for all of you. In case if my patching, I just opened the summary file, okay, without going to the last screen, the without going to the last screen itself, the patching is failing. Can I get the summary file in that case?
Yes, sir, we can get.
We can get,
Yes.
but it shows error, sir.
Very good, excellent, excellent. Yes, we will get it. Say summary file will be there. Once you open setup file, setup, right click, run as administrator. From that moment onwards, it will start capturing. Even though summary, the setup file is not responding, even though the setup file is closing automatically, even though it was closed in the middle of the patching, even though patching is unsuccessful at the end of the patching, in all these scenarios, once you opened patch file, okay, once you open this patch file with run as admin mode, then it will start writing to the log file. It will start writing to the summary.txt file. Whatever result might be, if it is failed, it is going to write as failed. If it is succeeded, it is going to write as succeeded. Okay, so in all scenarios, you will get this summary.txt file. So if you see here, this is the actual folder, okay, for yesterday's activity. If you go and see, you can see here date yesterday 13/9/2021, and if you see here 3/9/20. So can anyone tell me on which date I have installed my SQL Server in this machine?
Third,
which
sir.
3rd September. Okay, so 3rd September, if you see here, there is a detailed landing page. You can see here, right? There is a detailed landing page, and again summary file for that particular instance also. So you can see detail page and summary file also. So you can see action, final result, pass. Okay, what is this action? Requested action is landing page. Okay, so let me close this and let me open one more folder with the 3rd date, and you can see here detailed file. Okay, just if you open detailed file, you can see like this. Okay, see how it is, how big it is. Okay, see, can you read it? This much big file. Can you find any errors here? Okay, we can find it. Okay, simply we have to go for the search option. So in case you want to find any error here, like you have to search with a common error related terminologies like failed, error. Okay, you can see here, rule will not evaluated due to following failed restrictions. Okay, failed means don't think something is failed. Sometimes in the software itself failed component will be there, so that's why. So it's not failed. Okay, so you can see here, like in case check, in case any other failed is there, rule will not evaluate. Okay, that's fine, that's fine. Input property will not be set due to the following failed restrictions. Okay, not an issue. Failed restrictions, failed restrictions, failed, ignore failed restrictions. Okay, check any other things other than failed restrictions if you can find anything. Okay, okay, I don't see any, so I can keep on searching. Failed when querying the buffer size, attempting to get SID for the user account. Okay, so that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. In case if anything is failed, it is easy for us. I can show you the error and all. Okay, if you don't see anything with failed, just go with the error. Okay, so error also will get one result, error reporting. Okay, this is common. Why? Because Microsoft will ask us how to behave for error. In case if errors found, do you want me to report to the Microsoft or you don't want me to report? Usually in the servers, we don't find internet connections for the servers in the organization, right? So there will be no internet connections for the servers in the organization. So usually, okay, this check, you can no need to, okay, check this one, error reporting, no need to check this one. You can simply ignore this one, error reporting. If you see error reporting, then you can ignore it. And other than error reporting, if you see any other errors, error log directory, of course the directory name itself, error log directory. Okay, this is also not an error. The directory name itself, the folder name itself, error log directory. And we have error report, error log directory. So other than this, log all errors and throw started. Okay, log all error. These are some error related checks, not errors, error related checks. So don't think like whatever you can see as error, don't think that is an error. Some error related checks will be there, error related folders will be there, error related files will be there. So that's why you can see here, if it is an error, you can clearly, okay, see the error. And again, see, for example, here you can see the error. Might be, imagine this line you can see the error, but the error is not clear. So what you have to do, just try to read 10 to 20 lines up and 10 to 20 lines down, so that you will get some hints. Here is the exact error. Imagine here is the exact error. Okay, so what you can do, but you are not getting proper information with that error, then what you have to do, just try to go 10 lines up and try to go 10 lines down, so that you can easily, okay, you can easily understand that particular error. What is the error? Again, you cannot find, sometimes the error will be easily, you can easily identify the error. Sometimes you don't get a easy solution. Okay, we have to keep searching, we have to keep searching, keep searching. Okay, sometimes you will get small hints. Based on the hints itself, you can start digging into it, why it was failed, why the installation is failed, why the patching is failed, why the upgradation is failed. Okay, so this is how we are going to see the errors. First source is summary.txt. If something went wrong, you can find the things in the summary.txt file itself. If you don't see anything, at least you will get some hints. But if you don't see proper information, go to the date and timestamp folder, go to the detail.txt. There try to check with error or failed, these kind of messages. Okay, these kind of keywords, use these kind of keywords to search. In case if you find anything, that's fine. If you don't find, okay, then we can keep searching, okay, for more information. Apart from these two, we can also use event viewer. How to open event viewer? Event viewer is very important for SQL DBS, guys. We are going to use in lot of scenarios. Open run event vwr. Type event vwr. Okay, is the shortcut for event viewer. Open event viewer. There you can see this is our event viewer. Event viewer, like how SQL Server error log will log each and everything from SQL Server side. Event viewer is the error log for Windows machine. Event viewer is the error log for Windows machine. In this Windows machine, we have installed lot of applications, right? SQL Server is one application. That's it. Apart from SQL Server, we have installed lot of applications in this Windows machine. So all application related errors you can find in this event viewer application logs. Once you open this one, go to Windows logs, expand this, select this application. So you can see not only errors, okay, information, warnings like SQL Server, right? SQL Server error log not only track errors, it will also tracks information about the SQL Server. Okay, it will also tracks warnings of the SQL Server. So error log will track each and everything. Here also it will track each and everything. So here you can see all the information, errors, warnings, everything from other applications as well. This is the source. Source meant by application. Okay, source is nothing but application. So if you just click on the source, you can see MS SQL Server. So these are all related to the MS SQL Server. Okay, these are all related to the MS SQL Server. And you can see here whatever warnings are there, whatever errors are there. As of now, we don't have any error. And you can see here, okay, all the error related information, warnings related information, normal regular information in case if the SQL Server is started, stopped. Even though, say for example, if you stop the SQL Server, it will be logged here. SQL Server is stopped. If you stop it, so we can find out when the SQL Server is stopped from this event your application logs. If you want to filter, you can use this filter option, filter current log. If you want to filter only critical errors, warnings, errors, okay, you can simply filter it and you can click OK. You can filter it. Okay, these are the errors from ECENT. Okay, so these are not related to ours. Check whether in the source we have, see here, these are the warning messages, and you can see under here, if you select any warning, if you see here, you can see the proper information. Windows System 32 task host.exe cannot be restarted. Application SID does not match conductor SID. Okay, what is the error here? An attempt to open file, Windows System 32 log file, api.chk for read write access failed with the system error 5, access is denied. The file, the open file will fail with error 1032. So sometimes we will also get these kind of errors. Access denied errors we will also get. Okay, sometimes for SQL Server, from SQL Server side also, we will get access denied error. So if you want to check what is the exact error, select this one. You can double click on it. You can see the information and go to details and all, or else you can simply select this one under here. Okay, if you select any error in the general tab, okay, you can see the exact error, what is the error and all. Sometimes we will also get access denied. Okay, like this kind of error. Sometimes we will also get access denied. So your SQL Server won't start due to access denied option. Might be the service account doesn't have proper permissions. What is the solution for that? Why we are getting access is denied? Might be service account doesn't have proper permissions. Service account is not a member of local admin. So in such cases, usually we are going to get this access is denied error. So access is denied and SQL Server won't start. Okay. So what you have to do, go to event viewer, go to application logs, filter the application logs, check the critical errors and all, and choose the source as MS SQL Server. If you see here, we don't have any errors related to the MS SQL Server. All are security SSP, SPP, and report manager and ECENT only. Okay, we don't find any errors. Okay, other than these SQL Server, other than these things, these three components, we don't find any error related to the SQL Server and all. And again, if your installation is failed, patching is failed, upgradation is failed, check in the timestamp whether you can find any valuable information here. Sometimes, yes, it will be very helpful to track, okay, for the failed occurrences and all. either it is a installation, patching, or else like what is that upgradation. And also you even though if you are doing a decommission, means uninstalling SQL Server also, if uninstallation is failed also, you can see here application logs in the event viewer will log each and everything from all applications that were installed in this machine. Simply you have to filter it. You have to filter the MS SQL Server applications, then you can start working on it. Okay, so this is how we are going to search if your installation is failed, patching is failed. Okay, remove patching is also failed. Installation, uninstallation of SQL Server, patching, remove patching of SQL Server, upgradation. Okay, so upgradation, there is no remove option. So for all these 5 things, we can find the errors in all these 5, in all these 3 corners, summary.txt, detail.txt, that were there in the setup bootstrap log folder. Apart from that, you can also use this, okay, event your application logs. Clear, guys? Any issues, any doubts? Fine. Yeah, okay, the meeting is going to close now. Let me reopen the meeting again. Please join with the same link. Okay. Right, I'm closing the meeting and reopening the meeting again. Please join immediately. Okay.